Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well. The weather's a little bit brighter today. The rain has finally gone and it's not too bad a day. It still feels like September, doesn't feel like July, well, August at all. It's the 1st of August today. But yeah, I hope you've got some nice dry weather wherever you are. It's a different kind of video today. Today we are doing a frugal living video. I've been thinking about this one for a while and it's something I've wanted to talk about for a while. So yeah, when I showed you the bench the other day that we made out of an old door, I thought that it was a good chance to start talking about frugal living again. So I've got so distracted with the garden that I haven't managed to talk about anything else lately really. So I thought that we'd start talking about those sorts of things again, especially now we're going into winter and things are starting to get a bit tight financially. I thought it was a good opportunity to share my thoughts on the subject. So today we are going out and we're going to go and get some concrete boards. Someone on Swap Shop this week was getting rid of some concrete boards and all he wanted was a bar of chocolate for it. So I thought, I contacted him and I spoke to him and he said it'd be ideal for what I want to do in the barn at the back. So that's a big project that I'm going to tackle next year, but I'm not doing that this year. I've still got too much to do. But I thought as soon as the concrete boards were there, I'll go and pick them up. Apparently they're like plasterboard but made out of concrete. So it's a bit like, you know when you get your bandage done on your arm, when you break your arm and they use those bandages and they put plaster of Paris over the top. Well, it's that kind of thing but made out of cement. So yeah, we're going to go and pick that up. So I'm going to take you along with me and we're going to go and get a couple of bars of chocolate and we're going to go and pick it up. So we're going to do that in a minute. But I'm going to show you a couple of things around here that I do frugally to save money and to keep costs down. Things that I can do for free, things that I can get for next to nothing. Because around here we have a thing called Swap Shop and we also have Facebook Marketplace. And I try to get as much as I can before I buy anything. I try to go to those places first because on Swap Shop you can swap things for free, you can swap things for something else. People give things away, so yeah, and sometimes things are for sale and it's very, very cheap, so it's a good place to start. And Facebook Marketplace is also a great place to start. So I always try to check out those places first. Whenever I'm after something, either for the garden, for the house, for myself, I always have a look there first. I check in with Marketplace every night and I always put in free at the top and see what comes up. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes there's nothing there. Sometimes I think, oh well, I'll go and get that and then I can swap it at some point for something else. So yeah, it's a good way of getting things for free, and then it's like a little currency that you can use to buy stuff, to get stuff, instead of using money. So it's a great way of getting things. It's a great way of saving money, and it's a great way when you don't have any cash, any spare cash to go and buy things, to go and get the things that you want and the things that you need. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go and pick up that concrete board in, go and get the chocolate, and we're going to have a look at a few other things around here as well. So we'll go and do that and I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, so I'm back in the car and I've just been to the supermarket to get the chocolate for the gentleman. He's asked for chocolate in exchange for these boards that I'm going to pick up. So I've got him some Lindt extra creamy chocolate, 2 bars, because he did ask for green and black chocolate and they didn't have any. So yeah, I got him 2 bars of this instead because it probably works out about the same price. So we'll just have to make do with that because the supermarket had no green and blacks at all whatsoever. Apparently they discontinued it. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and pick up these boards and I'll show you when I pick them up and show you what I got in exchange for my chocolate. The boards that I got for free, they're a little bit cut up a bit small and they were what was left over from a house build. So I'm going to dry them out and I'm going to pop them there where the post box was because I've moved the post box. So I'm going to pop them there and they will dry out in the wind. This door here as well was one of the free doors that I got. Now this is oak. This is solid oak. This is going to be for a workbench for the barn when it's done, a new workbench. I was thinking of making it onto a trestle table and then it can be put down flat. I've got 3 of these doors left. I've got 2 pine ones and this oak one. So I'm going to put this on my workbench now in my workroom and use that. A solid oak door for free. I just had to go and pick it up and take it away. Right, so for half an hour's work I've got enough boards to do a wall in the barn when I come to do the barn. And it's concrete, so it's going to keep the moisture out. And I got lots of advice from the gentleman. He's a builder, he's in the building trade, so he gave me lots of advice on how to do the floor and how to make it watertight in the walls. So yeah, it was definitely a productive time, and it cost me 2 bars of chocolate, so I'm very pleased with that. But I'm going to go and put the kettle on, and then we'll go and get on and I'll show you something else. Another thing I got recently, I've just found it while I was tidying the garage, was somebody advertised on the local swap shop a load of old workshop tools, and they didn't want anything for them. So I went along and had a look, and I got a bandsaw, I got a wood lathe, wood turning lathe, and I got something called a linisher for sanding wood for making my weaving looms, and I got this beautiful wood plane. Oh, I got a router as well, but I got this. It's a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous Stanley. It's a vintage one, this, and it is a Stanley combination plane. Now I've no idea what one of these is. It's complete, and it's got the leaflet, it's got the plane with this beautiful wooden handle, and then it's got this base, this wooden base here, and it's got measurements on it. Now they're all in inches, so that shows you how old it is. The Stanley number 50, cutters for plane Stanley number 50. And then it's got all the bits as well. Now it looks like it's hardly ever been used. So yeah, I was very pleased with that. So I felt so bad on the gentleman taking the stuff for nothing, because oh, it's blades. I've just noticed. It's all the blades for the planer. Look at that, all different sizes. Oh, isn't that lovely? Gosh, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? So I'm very pleased. That must be all the blades that you need to use the planer. So yeah, I was very pleased with that, and I felt so bad on the gentleman. That's what it is, for taking it for free. I gave him some eggs. I gave him 8 eggs for him. So there's the label on the box as well still. So Stanley Works Sheffield. So yeah, I've nearly got a wood workshop for free, and someone else put one on as well, and I went along and picked another one up. One of them, the first one I got with this planer for the eggs, needs tidying up. It's really tight. It's been in a barn for ages, so I'm going to try restoring it and see if I can do it myself. But the other one I got is fully working, so I'm really pleased. It was free, but that was because I know him. It was the same person who I got the mesh for around the polytunnel and for the top part of the garden. So yeah, so it just goes to show that if you can think outside of the box, you can find all sorts of gems, all sorts of lovely things for your garden, for your workshop, for your house. So you just have to think outside of the box. Right, let's go on to something else. Now, for the last 9 years that I've lived in Wales, I've had a log burner, and I've not had to buy any wood, because I've done this thing called scavenging. And when we lived in our other house, we lived by a river, and what I used to do was we used to go down to the river, my husband and I. We used to fish the wood out of the river and off the riverbank. We'd lift it out and let it dry off, take it in the car and take it home, cut it up, put it in the shed to dry, and then burn it in the fire. And we did that for, oh gosh, how many years were we there? We did that for 6 years, I think. The first year we moved in, we didn't have any money, our business wasn't set up, and we had to find ways to be able to heat the house for free. So that was what we did. We went to the river, fished it all out of the river, and ended up heating our home for free. So since we've been here, I have scavenged. I did bring all our old wood with me, that we had in the house already, and I brought all that in the car, put it in the woodshed, left it to dry out through the summer, and then we used that to burn in the winter in the log burner. But the first year after that we were here, I had to go scavenging around the roads and the fields and go and find wood and bring it back and dry it out and cut it up. My husband had cut it and I put it away. But then last year, very kindly, I spoke to the farmer and he's been bringing me wood, and he's been doing that now last winter and now again for this winter. So I don't have to buy my wood, I do have to cut it myself. Being frugal, being self-sufficient isn't an easy task, isn't an easy job. And if you want free wood, you're going to have to sort it out for yourself. But it is a great way to heat your home if you do have a log burner. Go round woodlands, go down the riverbanks, go down the country lanes, speak to local farmers, speak to even tree surgeons, because a lot of tree surgeons don't use the wood. And ask them if you can either go and take it away for them, or if they can drop it off for you and you can chop it up. There's always ways and means of getting things. Go out collecting branches for kindling, and just spend the summer drying it out. Make hay while the sun shines, my husband says, and you go and do all the jobs in the summer, get it all dry, and in the winter you can be nice and cosy. So as you can see behind me, I'm going to be nice and cosy. Right, so another thing you can get for free, if you really seek it out, if you don't have a garden yourself, is free mulch. And I get that off next door, and they make beehives. So this is all the scrap stuff that's surplus to requirements. It's just going to get burnt. And this stuff rots down and makes beautiful soil. The other thing I use is leaves. Now, people do say that you should leave the leaves to rot down. I just like to let them rot down on the soil. I don't think they really need to be in bags taking up space personally. This is a mixture of that wood and leaves here. It's rotting down nicely. It's loosening up the soil nicely, and it's creating this lovely soil. And I do have to raise my soil level here because I have a bedrock of slate. Under here it's just slate. So for me, raising the soil level and making this compost is ideal. So that's what I do on there. I've also got it on the path to the lawn, the bottom lawn, and that keeps down the weeds on there and keeps down the weeds on the beds as well. I use my grass, and I just put it on a part of the garden initially just to make it dry out, and then it goes on the bed. And again, it's just free mulch, keeps the weeds down, increases the soil, and my plants seem to thrive on it. As you can see, they don't seem to mind it at all. It's a good time to ask somebody if they're dividing plants, if they're taking things up, if you can have a small piece and then you can get something that you want in the garden. Even ask them if there's anything you can swap out of your garden for something that they want, and you can then exchange plants for free. It's a great way to get to know people, and it's a great way to fill your garden with plants for free. It's also a good way of getting seeds as well. Now, nowadays there's an awful lot of seed swaps. We have one round here every year, and what you do is you take some seeds along, whether it's an open packet or a new packet. As long as they're still in date, go along, take them with you, and see if there's anything there that you can swap for something that you want. Say you've got 10 packets of tomato seeds. Take a couple of tomato seed packets along and see if you can swap it for something else, say kale or broccoli or something like that. It's just another great way of doing things without having to part with any cash. And I'll see you in the house in a minute. Do you know, being frugal has often been looked down on as being something that poor people have to do. And that can be often true. Poor people do have to live on a budget. They do have to live within their means. You do have to watch your money when you don't have a lot. Being frugal, been a way of life for me for many, many years, and I've never really had full-time work. I've always been a housewife, I love being a housewife. I wouldn't want it any other way. But I've often been looked down upon as being different. And what are you doing that for? Why don't you just go and buy it? Why don't you just go and get a credit card and go and get what you want? Now don't get me wrong, I have done those things. And it's nice to be in a position where you owe no man nothing except to love him, as the Bible says. And it's been very liberating for me to be able to get into that position. And living frugally now for me is just a way of life. It's not something I think about, oh I have to be frugal, I have to go out and do this. But it's just something, it's just the way I live. It's just a lifestyle. And do you know, it's an enjoyable lifestyle. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love having to think of creative ways as to how we are going to be able to get the things that we want. If it's new furniture, we bought a lovely leather sofa on Facebook. My husband always laughs because I sat there in the sitting room a couple of years ago. When we moved in here, we realised we needed another sofa because we lived in a really tiny house before. It's a little one up, one down Welsh slate workers cottage. It'd been split into 2 rooms, but it was still effectively just one room upstairs, one room downstairs. It was really efficient to keep warm because we just had the log burner and that heated the whole house apart from the kitchen. So yeah, it was a lovely place to live. We really enjoyed the house, really enjoyed it there. And when we moved there, we had to downsize and get rid of loads of stuff. So we didn't have a lot of furniture when we came here. So it was great when we did. And the elderly gentleman, Gordon, we received a lot of stuff when the family cleared out the house. So, yeah, even things like spoons, and knives and forks. I'm just doing the dishes. Yeah, we received a lot of stuff from the family that I use every day. It's been very useful. I do charity shops and shop around. But yeah, my husband always laughs at me because we were sat there one day and he said, "Need a new sofa. How are we going to afford a new sofa?" Because you know, they're the best part of £1,000, aren't they, for something decent? And he said, "Oh, I'll have a look on Facebook." And I turned around and said, "Oh, you never find anything on Facebook. There's never anything good on there." Still laugh about it now. Switches the computer on. Within 5 seconds, he says, "Oh, have a look at this." Like, "Nah, I don't want anything off there. I want a new one." Showed me this sofa. Within an hour, we were in the car, sofa in the back of the car on our way home. And it was only 50 quid. But it's a great sofa, nice brown leather sofa, goes with the other one and the chair that we've got. So looks perfect in the sitting room, nothing wrong with it, really clean, really tidy. Girl was selling it because she was moving away. So just goes to show, don't discount anything on Facebook. But I was just being a snob, I just wanted something new. New house and all that, you know, want all nice new furniture. But no, there's nothing wrong with it at all whatsoever. So you just have to change the way you're thinking, as much as anything. I mean, you don't have to go at it gung-ho like I do, and, you know, do all the things that I do. This is my lifestyle, this is what I do. I love the hard work of chopping wood and getting the fires ready for the winter and going out to the garden and picking some food and putting it on the table. And yeah, I just love that thought process of, right, I need this, how am I going to get it? And do it for nothing. Because why should I spend money on something that I can get for free? Or in exchange for something else really cheap, like today, that concrete boarding, 2 bars of chocolate. Think outside of the box. Don't be a snob. I know a lot of people these days are struggling, and it would help a lot. before you think about buying new, have a look and see how you can get it another way within the budget that you've got, with the money that you've got. Because there's no point in getting yourself in debt for a new bed. There's no point in getting yourself in debt for a new car. Buy a car that's within your budget. If you've got £1,000, go and buy a car with a few months MOT on it, and get the best that you can find. We never buy new cars. We always manage to get something within our budget. Always been the way. And we've always had, thankfully, good cars, apart from one bad experience. But in 20 odd years of car ownership, you know, by the time you've had a loan for a car and you paid it back, you're going to need another car, and you're just going to need more debt just to get another car, because the car's not going to be worth what it's worth when you go and buy it, you know. So I'm just doing the dishes, as you probably guessed. I made myself a cup of tea, so I thought, well, while I'm making a cup of tea, I'll boil enough water for the dishes, because we don't have our boiler switched on in the summer. We're trying to conserve the oil for the winter, because we only get one delivery a year. And now that we've got the log burner, we're hardly using the oil. So yeah, so when I'm boiling the kettle for a cup of tea, fill it up. It's going to cost me the same amount of money to make a cup of tea or do the dishes, isn't it? So I always make sure I boil enough water. But that's it for today, I think. I'm going to go and get on. I'm going to go and get on with the other jobs I've got to do. I've got to harvest the potatoes today that were in bags. So that's going to be in the next video. And I'm going to go and get on with sorting out a new wood store in the garden, which is going to be in the next video as well, so I'll show you that. And I'm going to go and get on with doing my frugal things that I do throughout the day. So I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, please do like and subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.